Om. 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 Sahana vavatu. Sahano bhunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone. So far, we have looked at 27 sutras for Narada Bhakti Sutras. The, the last three ones which we looked at relate to what's called Parabhakti, the supreme or the higher devotion. We looked at how it relates to jnana, karma, yoga, and so on. And Advishta means one who is beyond abhimana and amakara. And likes and dislikes. Dvesha, we looked at that also, ahankara and dvesha, or hatred. One would be free from, and so on. So we'll continue from the next verse today, next sutra. We'll look at three of them today. Tasya jnanameva sadhanamityeke. Tasya jnanameva sadhanamityeke. Tasya jnanameva sadhanamityeke. In terms of pronunciation, first two words do not have any aspirated consonant, so it should be reasonably simple. Like the way I mentioned last time, jnanam. I should start with ja and nya, okay, followed by nya. So that's something which people can pay attention to. Jnanam. The third word, sa dha. The dha is fourth letter in the third varga or third class of consonants, so it has to be aspirated. Sadha namityeke. Let's look at the word split. Tasyaha is one word, so there are no changes. Next word is nya. The jnanameva consists of two individual words, jnanam and eva. Plus a becomes me, so that's how you get jnanameva. The last word, which is the third word, sadhanamityeke, is comprised of three distinct words. Sadhanam, iti, eke. Sadhanam and iti, the and e becomes me, so you get sadhanam miti. Then ti plus a becomes tye. T plus a becomes tye. So we will look at the word-to-word meaning. Tasyaha. Tasya means of that. Okay. It's a sixth vibhakti of sa. Okay. So of that. So Tatsyaha is the sixth vibhakti or sixth noun form of sa. Sa means generally meaning is she. Okay. But sa also is a word which can refer to that from a feminine sense, because in Sanskrit, different nouns have their own gender. So bhakti is actually feminine. So whenever it's referred to, the word sa, the pronoun, actually sa is a pronoun is used, which actually means she. but it can also mean that. Okay, that a feminine word actually. Tasyaha, of that. So sixth vibhakti. There's another another vibhakti also has the same word, which is the fifth vibhakti, which basically means compared to, from, and that kind of meaning. I've taken off that, or the sixth vibhakti here. So that belongs to, okay, something which belongs to something is, belongs to that is tasyaha, okay, of that. The next word is jnanam. Jnanam, as all of you know, is knowledge. Okay. Eva, the word eva, it has multiple meanings. So I put all of them. It can mean really or certainly. It can also mean it's like something else. Okay, when it's compared to something, also it's used. Alone means by that alone, that kind of also eva, or it can mean that uh, in certain usages. Okay, jnanam eva. So if you say jnanam eva means it's really jnanam. Okay, really knowledge. Jnanam eva can means like knowledge. Jnanam eva means jnanam alone, knowledge alone. That kind of a meaning. So there are three types of meanings it can give. The next word is sadhanam. Sadhanam is an instrument with which you can do something. Okay. It can also be the means the process also it can refer to. Okay. Process through which something is achieved, that's also sadhana. Accomplishing something is also sadhana. Okay. So three meanings it can give depending on the context. Okay. The next word is iti. Iti means thus. When somebody says something, you'll say, thus somebody says, thus. Iti. Eke. Eke is the plural of ekaha. Okay, ekaha means one. Eke is plural. A plural of one means, that means a few people. Okay, so that's the way generally it's used. A few people, some people. Okay. Iti eke means some people say, thus. So what do they say? Tasya jnanameva sadhanam. Okay. This is the view of a few people. So what do they mean by this is the question. Narada is actually quoting or he's describing how others view bhakti. Their own, I think we have already looked at a few examples of descriptions of bhakti. Here, the attribute of bhakti is being analyzed and declared by different people. So a few people say, tasyaha jnanameva sadhana. Okay. I have given three different meanings for this here. So one is jnanameva tasyaha sadhana. Okay. Jnanameva means, okay, jnanam alone. Okay. Jnanameva tasyaha sadhanam. Tasya, its accomplishment or its instrument is jnanameva. So we have given this. Knowledge is the means of that. Here, that means devotion. Okay. So what it basically means is only through knowledge you can attain bhakti. Only through knowledge you can attain bhakti is one meaning. Jnanameva tasya sadhana. Or you can say tasyaha jnanam. Knowledge of that eva alone is accomplishing. So that means if you have only knowledge of bhakti, you can be accomplishing anything. That is another meaning. Okay. Third meaning is jnanameva, like jnanam, tasya sadhanam. the instrument of bhakti. Okay. Or accomplishment of bhakti. So through, like just the way jnanam also you can accomplish something, through bhakti also you can accomplish. So because everyone has this challenge of knowing whether we have to follow jnana margam, bhakti margam, or karma margam. So here already that is sort of covered in the about 3 sutras before, we covered that. But here they say, due to jnanam, bhakti comes. With the help of jnanam, you get bhakti. Oh, bhakti is like jnanam. Okay. Uh, like the instrument of jnanam, bhakti also. So the interconnectedness of bhakti and jnanam is described. Different people, commentators have given slightly different meanings, so I have captured all 3. Okay. So having the good knowledge of, so the thing is, first one, let's say knowledge of bhakti's accomplishment. See, everyone says we have devotion. But do we know whether we have the right kind of devotion? Do we have the real devotion? What is devotion? So the knowledge of bhakti is also, we are all studying about bhakti. Why? So that we can cultivate and make sure that the bhakti we have is good. So having knowledge of bhakti, tasyaha jnanam. Okay, bhaktyaha jnanam you can say. The knowledge of bhakti alone gives you accomplishment, will make you succeed. So that's one of the meanings. Okay, the second meaning, as I said, through knowledge only you get bhakti. If you have jnanam, then you will get bhakti. So that's also one of the interpretation. Because I think I've mentioned here also, there are 4 kinds of devotees: arti, artharti, jignasi, jnani. So arti is one who is suffering in this world. They want God, so they pray to God. Artharti, people who want money, people want to be successful in this world, they also have bhakti. Then there are people who want to learn. Okay, jignasa, they want to learn about various aspects, Vedas, Shastras. They want to know about God. They are called jignasi. They are also devotees. Then the 4th kind of devotee, the highest kind of devotee, is jnani. So that it means that, okay, only when you have jnanam, you have highest type of bhakti. That's also another meaning. So bhakti is also like jnana. That is another interpretation. So there are 3 interpretations for this sutra. I will stop here. We will read some excerpt from Swami's discourse. Saira. In the world, we are continuously experiencing the same round of days and nights. You perform the same ablutions and indulge in the same process of filling the stomach. Thus, you go on from year to year. But what efforts are you making to lead a purposeful and ennobling life? You are going through the same mill of experiences again and again, doing the same things again and again. If you go on in this way, what is the worth of your life? What is the goal of life? What is its primary purpose? Few care to inquire into this basic question. Hence, what we have to examine is how we can lead an ideal, bliss-filled, spiritually oriented life, which will serve as an example to others. People are engaged in sadhana. But when the outcome of these exercises are examined, it is found to be without meaning. All these exercises are purely designed to provide some sort of mental satisfaction and nothing more. So Swami is talking about the essential nature of knowledge of sadhana, how to do sadhana. Okay. In my view, neither sadhana, spiritual endeavor, nor sadhyam, fulfillment, exist independently and apart from each other. Sadhana and Sathyam are one and the same. It is a trick of the mind to make sadhana as a means to Sathyam, the goal. True sadhana consists in giving up the anatma bhava, the idea that one is not the spirit but the physical body. To turn the vision from the physical to the spiritual constitutes real sadhana. Today, we have knowledge of many sorts in the world. All these categories of knowledge do not constitute what is regarded as jnana in Vedantic parlance. Atma jnana, knowledge of the spirit, alone is true knowledge. Ordinary knowledge may be knowledge of material objects, sensory knowledge, or any other kind of knowledge acquired by investigation. But none of these can be Atma Jnana. In the highest sense, Atma, the spirit, and Jnana, knowledge, are not two different things. They are one and the same. That is why the Vedas declared Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Brahma is truth, wisdom, and infinite. Truth, wisdom, infinity, and Brahman are all different names for the Paramatma, Omniself. They are synonymous. They are not different from each other. What is jnana? The awareness of Swaswarupa, one's real nature, is true knowledge. Devotion is the means to achieve oneness with this knowledge. When self-knowledge becomes one with the self, jnana implies freedom from all thoughts. The jnana marga, the path of knowledge, calls for the control of thoughts by appropriate efforts. Whether one takes to the jnana marga, the path of knowledge, or bhakti marga, the path of devotion, the resulting illumination is the same. For instance, the light of the sun is reflected by the moon. The light from the sun is warm and effulgent. When the same light is radiated by the moon, it is cool and soothing. It is the same light that is present in the sun and the moon. The principle that illumines both the sun and the moon is the spirit, Atma Tattva. The sun's light has been compared to jnana and the moon's light to bhakti. Jnana is effulgent, while bhakti, devotion, is blissful. Thus, bhakti and jnana are the beginning and the end of the same process. So actually, Swami has tackled all aspects of this sutra in different ways. Okay? The result from bhakti and jnana are the one causes the other. One is the beginning, one is the end. Both are the same. Okay, so these are some of the concepts Swami has told. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Brother, Bhakti Marga, Swami says Bhakti and the Jnana Marga lead to the same illumination. So what illuminates same thing, but I'm trying to understand before also we studied any marga you goes through, you have to come to the Jnana Marga. Without Jnana, you are not, even the Bhakti, as you mentioned earlier, you have to know whether you are doing you are praying right, the Bhakti is right, all kind of thing. So is that the way we look at it?
So what basically it says is, if you have bhakti without jnana, it's of no use.
Yes. So it's okay.
Bhakti means jnana also.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's what Swami is talking about. But because all this discussion is needed because people need to be explained what is bhakti. Because there are people who think that they have bhakti, but without any understanding of what is bhakti. Just because we go and pray for something, we think we have bhakti.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is why the knowledge is needed. So knowledge is also needed, but bhakti is bhakti. Okay. But bhakti contains jnana also.
Yes.
But just to explain to people who may be confused, this sutras. Okay, Sairam and Saku. I think you also have to unmute and speak.
Good morning, Sairam. I just want to ask you, just clarify myself. So, to attain bhakti, you need jnanam and as well as karma. Karma. Action and jnana both needed, right? For bhakti, to develop bhakti. That is what we are doing, right?
It's karma yoga is needed.
What?
Karma yoga is needed because
Karma yoga, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not normal karma, but
so
karma yoga.
a devotee will naturally, whatever the person does is karma yoga only.
Okay.
Because all of us are engaged in action.
Yeah.
But and once devotion, real devotion comes, every act also will become karma yoga because it will be dedicated to only God.
Uh-huh. After bhakti comes, everything will become karma yoga.
Yeah. Without devotion, karma cannot become yoga.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's karma. As far as karma goes, I think Jnana Swami has nicely explained.
Yeah.
So I don't need to add
Thank
anything.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Brother Vimalesan.
Sairam. No, I just want to know the word jnana. The word jnana is it's in different contexts. Is it used for general knowledge also and for wisdom? Right? In English, we use those. Is there? So in the normal sense, no, we say jnanam or jnani, we mean the spiritual knowledge or enlightened person like that. So is there another word for as a general knowledge or mundane knowledge in Sanskrit?
So in Sanskrit, generally, the jnana covers all types of knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
because of that sometimes the
So,
meaning confused. Yeah.
so that's why in Suprabhatam we say jnana vijnana shobhita.
Right.
Vijnana means that knowledge beyond which there's no knowledge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So vijnana is considered atma jnana, brahma jnana.
Right. When those adjectives are added, then it's clear.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
to clarify. But jnana encompasses everything.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now you should be able to unmute. I'm very sorry. Okay, sorry. Somebody else. Now you all should be able to unmute. Sorry. Okay, so yes, Sairam Kalyani.
Sorry, Uncle. And Swami saying bhakti and jnana are the beginning and the end of the same process. Does that mean one is like bhakti, or one of those is the beginning, one of those is the end?
I think the order itself shows what is the origin and what's the end.
Oh, okay.
The true bhakti will give jnana. I think this is what Sister Aruna was referring. Without jnana, we cannot merge.
Oh, okay.
So the bhakti by itself will give the jnana also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Jnana Vairagya, these are also process of the blessings of bhakti. Yes, that's my understanding. I think the next one, I think, should be next sutra will clarify some of those questions. So let's look at that.
Brother Sairam, if you don't mind, can you please go to the second page of the discourse, please? I just see.
Sorry, 1 second, sister. Yes.
See, the sentence, the third part, it is the trick of the mind to make sadhana as means to sadhyam, the goal. The true sadhana consists is giving up atma,
Anatma bhava.
anatma bhava. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
The idea of that is not a spirit, but the physical body, anatma bhava. Okay, thank you. I confused with atma.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go to the next sutra. Anyonyashrayatvam ityanye. Anyonyashrayatvam ityanye. Anyonyashrayatvam ityanye. In terms of pronunciation, there are no aspirated consonants in this. So it should be simple, but it's one large, long word. So let's look at the split and see what it's made up of. Okay. It's comprised of 4 different words. Anyonya, Ashrayatvam, Iti, Anye. Anyonya, Ashrayatvam, Iti, Anye. Anyonya and Ashrayatvam become Anyonyashrayatvam. The ya and a becomes ya. Okay. And iti becomes miti. Ashrayatvam iti. Similar to the previous sutra also. Iti anye becomes the ti and a becomes tya. Okay. So that's how you get ityanye. Okay. So those are the 4 words. Let's look at the meaning. Anyonya. I think all the people who know Tamil will know what's anyonya. That means mutual, reciprocal, and intimate. All these intertwining of 2 things is anyonya. One follows the other and back and forth. So one gives and the other one takes, other one gives and this one takes. Things like that. So it's an intimate connection. Ashrayatvam. Ashrayatvam. Ashraya means a refuge, a place where we can go and take refuge or take shelter. Dependence. So seeking a refuge is also ashraya. So when you realize that we are dependent on something. So devotion is dependent on jnana. Jnana is dependent on devotion. Okay. Devotion is dependent on jnana. Jnana is dependent on devotion. Iti, thus, anye, others. So some people say something, others say this. So Narada is talking about different opinions or different views of jnana and bhakti. So others say, no, there's interdependence between jnana and bhakti. Okay, so to cultivate either one separately, you have to depend on the other. If you want to cultivate jnana, you have to have devotion. If you want to have devotion, you have to have jnana. Each one is dependent on the other. So interdependence of jnana and bhakti, which is what you always people were asking. So that's why I said this will clarify that. We'll look at a few excerpts of Swami. What is true jnana? When the senses are brought under control by the mind itself ceases to function. It disappears as it were. Then man experiences a profound silence. That stillness resulting from the absence of the mind is true knowledge. This knowledge cannot be acquired by intellectual ability or mental agility, nor can it be acquired by following an example. It is sui generis. It is not something new to be got. It is like the ashes which cover a burning charcoal, or like the moss which covers a sheet of water. The ashes have come from the charcoal. The moss has originated from the water. The cataract that dims the vision of the eye, where from has it come? It has come from the eye itself. When the screen that blinds the vision is removed, the true self will be seen in its real form. Atma-jnana, knowledge of the self, is not obtainable through books, nor can preceptors impart it. It is not even given by Paramatma, the Supreme Self. You are yourself the Paramatma, the Jnana, the Atma. How does this Atma exist in all beings? How is this Jnana present in everyone? When you meditate on this in solitude, a permanent, unchanging sound arises from the mind. All objects in the world are continually subject to change of substance and form. All objects manifest the power of the atom. Every object is composed of atoms. It is the nature of atoms to combine and to separate. But in all human beings, there is one unchanging and indivisible divine entity, the inner voice. The body undergoes change from infancy to old age, but the inner voice remains unchanged. Men experience three different states of consciousness in the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states. But the inner voice has no change in the gross or subtle states of the body. What is that voice? It is the divine inner voice issuing from Atma Tattva, Atma principle. It is continually declaring I, aham, aham, aham. This is the truth that is subtler than the atom. It is more fundamental than the atom. It is from the aham that the declaration soham, I am he, has come. When this aham, the I, identifies itself with the body, it develops ahankara, egoism. Egoism is a common, mundane condition. But aham, the I, is the word of the divine. This cannot be realized through scholarship or dialectics. However great a Pandit might be, he would not be able to see an object if he is blind. Equally, with all his scholarship, he would not be able to see an object that is not there even if he has sight. But whether one is a scholar or an ignoramus, a man endowed with the eyes will be able to perceive objects. Even a great scholar, proficient in all the scriptures, will not be able to see objects of the phenomenal world in his dream state. But the man that is awake, whether he is a scholar or not, can see the objects in the world. In the same manner, the Atma Shakti, the power of the spirit, which cannot be readily recognized, will be evident to one who has attained Atmic knowledge through purity of the mind. If you look at things below the mind, you perceive the phenomenal world. But if you look beyond the mind, you recognize the Atma. All knowledge and experiences are associated with the mind externally. They do not go beyond the mind. The aspirant who seeks to experience the Atma will not be able to have it by performing worldly actions. The Atma is all-pervading. The cosmos is permeated by the Chaitanya, Atmic consciousness. To believe that because you have a body, you'll be able to experience it is a fancy of the mind. Whether there's a pot or not, and whether there is water in it or not, the reflections of the sun can be found everywhere. When there is a pot with water, we can directly see the sun's reflection. But the absence of a pot does not mean that there is no sun or reflection of the sun. Irrespective of whether there is a body or not, whether there is a mind or not, Atma is present. There is no need for a body or mind to experience the divine. But till this is properly understood, good care has to be taken of the body, the senses, the mind, and the intellect. They have to be set on the right course and not allowed to go astray. All troubles arise because they take to wrong paths. It is believed that every man has a free will. This is a mistake. It is also believed that it is through the individual's ideas and efforts that many things are accomplished. This is based on misconceptions regarding man's doership and egoism. Despite all his prowess in arms and intelligence, what happened to Karna? Strength derived from the divine alone is the true strength. All else is weakness. To realize the Atma, physical prowess is of no avail. It is only by developing the sense of spiritual oneness that the Atmic consciousness can be realized. Today, the world is plunged in chaos and conflict because this feeling of oneness has been lost. Man engages himself in strenuous efforts to achieve worldly comforts, but he does not make even a minute fraction of such efforts to meditate on God. How much greater happiness would he enjoy if he were to devote even a few moments to the thoughts of God? To experience this divine bliss, the best means is to cultivate devotion to the Lord. There is no difference between bhakti and jnana. Through loving devotion, the Lord can be made captive. Devotional love is itself God. It is permanent. With devotion, you can overcome any ordeals in life. So Swami is talking. Swami talked about jnana all along, and then at last he completes saying, devotion is knowledge. Okay, there's no difference. How we view it can be different, but they are not, essentially, they are not different. That's what Swami says. So I think it sort of captures whatever we have discussed with the previous one also. So we'll go on to the next sutra. Swayam phala rupateti Brahma Kumaraha. Swayam phala rupateti Brahma Kumaraha. Swayam phala rupateti Brahma Kumaraha. In terms of pronunciation, Swayam is simple, no aspirate consonants. The second word, phala rupameti, the first letter is pa. That is, pa is the second letter in the per varga, per class of consonants. Sometimes people pronounce it as phala. Okay, that is not a Sanskrit. Fa is not a Sanskrit sound. Because of other foreign influences, that type of pronunciation has come in. But the real pronunciation is pa. Okay, aspirated pa. Okay, that's only one. Phala rupameti. Brahma Kumara, it should be rather simple. Some people pronounce Brahma as Brahma also. I will not get into it. It's an area where people can have different views. Many Orthodox people would say Brahma, but the correct pronunciation is Brahma. But Brahma is also accepted. So I will not, but the correct pronunciation, from what I understand and what I believe, is Brahma. Okay, so I will leave it at that. We look at the Sandhi split now. Swayam, standing alone, no changes due to Sandhi. The next word, Phalarupateti, is comprised of two words, Phalarupata and Iti. Phalarupata is a compound word by itself. Ta and Iti becomes Teti. Okay. Phalarupata, because it's a compound word, I put a dash to distinguish Phala and Rupa. So it's easy for you to read and also understand the meaning. The last word is Brahma Kumaraka. It's also a compound word, but no Sandhi related change. I have just put a dash just to separate Brahma and Kumara. We look at the meanings. Swayam. Swayam means itself, by oneself, by itself. Type of thing. Swayam means completely dependent on one's own self. On one's own, also you can say. Okay, on one's own, by oneself, by itself. This kind of meaning come from the word Swayam. Phala Rupata. Phala means fruit or result. Phala can mean both fruit or result. Rupa is form. Rupata means having that form. Okay. Having the form of anything which has the form of the fruit is Phala Rupata. Okay. So I have to just put off the form of the fruit or result. So by itself it is a fruit. By itself it is a result. Which? Devotion. Okay, and I think the previous description Swami says, devotion itself is God. I will just to go back to point that out. I don't know whether it...
Sairam,
Yes, Auntie.
devotional love is itself God, the last.
Here only, no?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, devotion, love, it's itself God.
Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Yeah, so the devotion itself is God. So Phala Rupata, so that itself is the end result. That also Swami has already stated it. Thank you, Auntie, for pointing it out. So, having devotion, that is God. Phala Rupata iti Brahma Kumara. Brahma Kumara is son of Brahma, generally meaning. So people say Narada is talking about. Okay, but there's another meaning which we can give, child of God. Narada is not referring to himself. He is referring to anyone who identifies them as the son of God. All of us are Brahma Kumaras. Nothing but because we're all children of divinity. So one who is a child of God will feel this itself is fruit. Devotion itself is the final accomplishment, siddhi. Nothing else is needed. Because devotion is God. You're experiencing God. Yes, Auntie Sakku.
Hi, Ram.
Hi, Ram.
I just want to know about this Brahma Kumar. So is it a child of God is called Brahma Kumar.
Brahma is Brahman. Okay,
Yeah.
Brahman, you can see the creator as, you can take Brahma, or you can have the Parabrahman, Supreme Lord.
Parabrahman, yeah. I have a question. We in Vaikunda, two gatekeepers were guarding Vishnu, and this Brahmaputras, two Brahmaputras came, and they was compelling them to allow them to go and see Vishnu. And because these gatekeepers did not allow to disturb Vishnu's Sayanam, they didn't allow, and they were cursed to come back in Rakshasa Rupa. I just want to know, a person who has reached Brahmaputra state, can they be so egoistic? I'm just asking my doubt.
Auntie, all of us are also Brahmakumaras. But
We all
until-
Brahmakumaras?
Yes, and we are all children of God. But
Yeah,
the thing is,
yeah.
so until if we are not aware of it, then we are not Brahmakumaras. See, if we don't know that we are child of God and we don't behave like children of God, then we are not Brahmakumari. Even though we are intrinsically that, if our actions are different, that's why they will say, you can't be a Brahmana by birth alone. You can't be a human being just by having the human form. The actions and the behavior also should be agreeable. So if you are talking about the story of Jaya Vijay and the Sanakati Munis, the Brahmakumar, the four children of Brahma, as it's in the Puranas, it says. But Jaya Vijay are also actually children of God only. But if we don't behave like that, then we become, not by somebody else's curse, by our own actions, we will become Rakshasas. So no one has to curse us to be Rakshasas. Actually, our own actions and our own thoughts by themselves will bring about downfall. And then we have to again we have to climb up through various processes. And in the case of Jaya Vijaya, they already had great devotion for the Lord. Because of that, they could get back in 3 lifetimes. Apparently, that's a story. But so I will leave it at that. So all of us are also divine children of God. But when you forget that you are a child of God, then we will behave something like, in ways which are not befitting Brahmakumara. And that's my understanding. I hope that answers your question. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Brother Sairam, brother, because it's a Sanskrit class, I was just started asking again. See, you said Brahma, because of the ka is there, right? That's the second letter. The
Half her is
yeah, it's there. So that's the pronunciation then, right?
Technically, that's the correct
Because
pronunciation.
according to the Sanskrit letters.
Yes. Okay, Brahma. But Brahma is also acceptable. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Okay, because see, there are some theories that sometimes words can switch. So they are not traditionally. Many scholars and many learned people also pronounce it as Brahma. Okay, so both are acceptable. Okay, so both are acceptable. Let me put it that way. But technically, if you're reading, it should be
letter. Yeah.
Brahma. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's read some Swami's excerpts. I have quite a long, lengthy excerpt, but I hope it's okay with you. Music which is invisible is one, but the ragas, melodies are many. Each raga has a unique form of its own. Likewise, rasa, taste, is one, but has a variety of forms. In Indian musicology, 64 different ragas are listed. They are called Chatushashti. 64. However great a musician may be, even if he be Narada or Tumburu, the celestial singers, if he were to sing a single tune for long, his music will pall on the audience. Hence, a variety of ragas are required. God, who is the embodiment of sweetness, manifests himself in many forms. Upanishads have declared Raso Vai Saha. He is sweetness itself. He invests that sweetness with infinite variety. Prakriti, nature, which is made up of the 3 gunas, qualities, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas is one only. All the myriad colors, sounds, smells, and tastes that we witness have emanated from nature alone. How can God, whose manifestations are infinite, be described? The Vedas have declared, from which speech and mind turn back, unable to grasp it. The Supreme. To realize the divine, the only easy method is chanting the name. There are, of course, many great ones who chant the name of the Lord incessantly. There are many others who recite the name for days, months, and years, but this affects no change in them. What is the reason for this? All the sense organs functioning with the feeling, I am the body. Those who utter the name of the Lord while being immersed in the body consciousness cannot realize the divine, however long their penance may last. People belonging to different faiths and cultures pursue various spiritual practices according to their different backgrounds. When they find that these practices have not produced the results they expected, out of frustration or disappointment, they go after a different form of worship or a different faith. Spiritual change cannot come merely by chanting a different name or even adopting a different creed. Divine grace is not secured by change of faith. It is the mati, mind, that has to undergo a change, not one's matam, religion. By merely changing the garments you wear, you cannot acquire different qualities. So acquire divine qualities. Virtues have to be cultivated. Only the person who transforms his character can sublimate himself. Here's a simple example. In a play, one actor appears in the first scene as a beggar in tattered clothes. In another scene, he appears in the robes of a king. Later, he appears as a minister. The people in the audience may think that the beggar was a different person from the one in the role of the king and that of the minister. What is the reason? They go by the costumes worn by the actors. A person is judged by his dress and his actions. But see how a dog behaves in relation to its master. The dog recognizes its master irrespective of the dress he wears. It acts on the basis of the voice of the master. It would seem that the dog has a better sense of recognition than human beings who judge men by external appearances. Men today act on the basis of names and forms. These names and forms are artificial. Sound has the quality of permanence. If the name of the Lord is chanted with due regard to the sound, the name acquires spiritual power. The Chinmaya, the higher consciousness, can be experienced in the utterance of the divine name. Man is the embodiment of divine consciousness. Only when he is pure, he can experience that consciousness. Through attachment to worldly pleasures, man gets bound to the physical and becomes oblivious to his essential divinity. Man knows that God is the very embodiment of love. Only through the cord of love can God be bound. But it is only when love is for love's sake that this cord can bind God to man. If love is motivated by desire for worldly objects, God will be beyond our reach. You must become embodiments of love. If you are merely loving, your love will be confined to a few. Only when you become the embodiment of love can your love comprehend all. Only then will you realize that it's the same God who is the indweller in all beings. During Krishna's boyhood days, he wanted to go to the forest with other cowherd boys to lead the cows and calves for grazing. His mother said that he needed sandals for going to the forest when he would have to walk over thorns and stones. Krishna said that the cattle had no shoes and he as a protector should wear no shoes. He pointed out that the cows were selfless in giving their milk to others and love of the cows and calves towards him was not equaled even by Yashoda's love for him. Krishna set an example as to how a leader should behave in relation to those under his charge. Krishna considered himself as the leader and protector of the cows. You may be a class leader, a room leader, a party leader, or a social leader, but a leader of any sort should set an example to his followers and serve as an ideal to them. In fact, every individual should aim at being an ideal person. Only then would his life be purposeful and self-satisfying. Take the example of a farmer. Before growing a crop on his land, he has to prepare the field, plow it, manure it, sow the seeds. When the seeds sprout, he has to remove the weeds and protect the crop from birds and other depredators. I don't know. Okay, I will leave that. Only then can he reap the harvest. A similar exercise has to be done in the cultivation of the heart by everyone. The heart is like a field. It has to be cultivated properly. It should be filled with the water of love. It should be tilled by the process of vichara. Then the seed of the divine name has to be planted in it. You must erect the fence of vigilance to guard it. You must protect the crop of devotion by weeding out egoism. Only then you will reap the fruit of love for the divine. In the tree of every human life, there is the fruit of love. To enjoy this fruit, you have to remove the outer rind so that you can get at the juice within. Take, for instance, an orange. To enjoy the fruit, you have to remove the outer skin first. Then you have also to take out the seeds in the fruit and the fibrous parts. You should consume only the juice. You should realize that life has been given to you by the divine so that you may enjoy this fruit of love. Get rid of the ostentation and pride. Remove the seeds of bad thoughts and bad feelings. Throw out the mamakara, acquisitive impulse. Then you will taste the juice of love. This is the type of sadhana which everyone should undertake. Each is a kind of cultivator. Every heart is a field. This divine gift should not go to waste. What use is there in possessing land if you do not cultivate it properly? There's a sacred land, but if it's allowed to lie fallow, it becomes barren and nothing can be grown on it. Here's a boundless field, but you're failing to grow the kind of crop that should be raised on it. Your foremost duty today is to cultivate properly the precious and boundless land that has been given to you. You do have the abilities required for this purpose. Some students pray to Swami to give them the strength to live up to Swami's ideals. When they pray like this, they imagine that they do not have the strength at present. There's no need to give them this strength. It is already there. You're failing to make good use of it because you're not concentrating your attention on it. If you realize your potential, you will know how to make the right use of it. I picked it up because even though the fruit is devotion itself, what we should do to be able to experience it. So that's the reason I had picked this excerpt. There's another excerpt I will quickly read through if it's okay. In this human life, the most significant thing to know is devotion. Jnana, wisdom, is the root of the tree of love. Its fruit contains sweet juice. It is the juice of devotion. The juice or essence, raso, is the very form of the divine. Raso Vaisaha. He is sweet essence. So bhakti devotion is the very essence of divinity. Sweetness of bhakti should reflect in your speech. Hence, every word uttered by you should be sweet. Only then do you deserve to be called a human being. When can you speak sweetly? When you contemplate on the divine, your speech becomes sweet. However, it may sometimes necessary to use harsh words to correct people who act and behave in evil ways. Though the words may appear to be harsh, the feelings behind them should be saturated with love. Sometimes when it rains, hailstones also fall along with the gentle raindrops. They are nothing but water in frozen form. In this context, I give you an example. During the Mahabharata war, one day Ashwatthama vowed that he would behead the Pandavas before the sun sets. Draupadi came to know of this vow. She prayed to Krishna, I don't want anything, I don't want the kingdom, save the Pandavas. Krishna said, that is not in my hands. The vow cannot be changed. Draupadi pleaded with Krishna, nothing in this world is beyond your capacity. Everything is in your hands. If you will, you can do anything. And she fell at his feet. Lord Krishna blessed her and immediately chalked out a plan. In the darkness of night, he went to sage Durvasa. The Pandavas who accompanied the Lord waited outside as instructed by Krishna. To protect his devotee, the Lord has to enact many roles. If he does not act, the play simply loses its significance and it becomes uninteresting. Durvasa gave an ecstatic welcome to Krishna. Krishna said, I have come here with a purpose. It is a very difficult task. You have to help me. Durvasa said, I am ready to do any task except telling a lie. Krishna said, uttering lies is not acceptable to me also. I am divine myself. I always adhere to the truth. Adhere to truth. How can I tell you to utter a lie? I have made a plan. Please act according to it. That will fulfill my desire. Lord, do you have a desire? Asked Durvasa. I have desires for the sake of others. I have no desires for my own sake. Whatever I do, whatever I speak, it is for the welfare of others. I never seek my own welfare, Krishna replied. Lord, what should I do? Asked Durvasa. Krishna said, dig a big pit, put a strong plank over it, and place your throne on it. Then sit on the throne. The Pandavas will hide in the pit. When Ashwatthama comes here along with his accomplices and asks you where the whereabouts of Pandavas, tell him that the Pandavas are under you, but say that in a harsh tone. Durvasa was known for his temper. Ashwatthama searched everywhere and at last came to Durvasa. He offered salutation to Durvasa and asked about the Pandavas. Durvasa said in an angry tone, Pandavas are under me. He spoke truth but changed the intonation. Fearing that the sage would curse him, Ashwatthama ran away from that place. In this way, God has to contrive some situations for the protection of the world. His attempts are not only to protect the holy people, but to protect holiness itself. This sacredness is present in every being. To protect this sacredness, the Lord incarnates. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To protect the righteous and destroy the wicked, I incarnate from time to time to establish dharma. Righteousness can never be annihilated. It is ever present in every age. But occasions arise when its very existence is threatened. The Lord incarnates to re-establish dharma and to accord proper place to it. If dharma is vulnerable to destruction, how can we call it dharma? So dharma can never be vanquished. But it becomes obscure. To make dharma more manifest is the purpose of the avatar. The question arises, who is God? You are all forms of God. The Asvatthama, the Atma Tattva, self, present in every being is in fact God. It is divinity in its true sense. Mamaivamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. An aspect of my divinity is resident in each being. Do not search for God. Look within. Divine will manifest in you. Spiritual texts may be many. The teachings of spirituality may be different, but the Atma is the same. In any country, at any time, in any surroundings, the Atma is the same. There's no such thing as a Japanese Atma or an American Atma or Atma of any country. It transcends all divisions of creeds and castes. It has no distinctions like man and woman. It is beyond all distinctions. Nirgunam, Niranjanam, Sanatanam, Niketanam, Nitya, Buddha, Mukta, Nirmala, Swarupin. The nature of the self is described as attributeless, pure, eternal, free from bondage, unsullied, and immortal. This eternal Atma is present in every human being. At one time, someone questioned Sridi Sai Baba, "Are you God?" What was his reply? "All are forms of the divine. I am not only divine, but also the divinity that is present in the divine," said Baba. So the same divinity is present in every being as all other forms of divine. But people are not able to realize the divine because they drink intoxicating wine of worldly desires. Wine leads to ignorance, but not to the divine. So you should consume something that promotes divinity. What is it? It is love. If you taste the fruit of love, you need no other nourishment. Love is the essence of all fruits. It is the goal of all goals. It is the end of all spiritual practices. Cultivate such love with pure and steady mind. For this, you should keep the body, mind, and senses on the right track. I told you yesterday the 3 ways that would help you to streamline your life. Bend the body, mend the senses, and end the mind. What does the maximum bend the body stand for? It is bending the body to carry out some task? No. You should bend your body with humility, respect, and love when you see elders and your parents. In olden days in town and country, the entrances to the houses were a bit low. Visitors had to bend their heads to enter the houses. To highlight the significance of the maximum bend the body, the ancients used to keep the height of the entrances low deliberately. Mend the senses through right vision, right listening, right speech, right thoughts, right actions. You have to control your senses. That is the end of the mind. Here's an example. This is a piece of cloth. You call it cloth as long as the threads are intact. If you remove the threads one by one, there will be no cloth. The threads symbolize your desires. It is said, less luggage, more comfortable, make travel a pleasure. You are increasing your luggage day after day. This burden has become a great hindrance to your progress and happiness. You should remove this hurdle and move closer to divinity. Salokya is closeness to divinity. Sarupya is to attain the form of divinity. How is this possible? The Vedas say, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Prahlada, who contemplated on Lord Narayana, became Narayana himself. The dacoit Ratnakara recited the name of Lord Rama and transformed himself into sage Valmiki. Hanuman contemplated on the name of Lord Rama. He is worshipped by the devotees as of Rama. Sayuja is complete integration or merger with the Lord. This is the end of all sadhanas, spiritual exercises. Several ways of spirituality are enunciated in the Vedas, the epics and the Puranas. But love is the essence of all these ways. Love is changeless. There should not be any change in love. Cultivating this changeless love and redeem your life. Start the day with love, fill the day with love, spend the day with love, end the day with love. This is the way to God. Saturate your life with love and end your life with divine love. All other thoughts will disturb your equanimity. Man possesses all types of wealth except 2. These 2 are possessed by God. You can attain them by praying to God. These 2 are Shanti, peace, and Ananda, bliss. You may feel happy otherwise too, but know that such happiness is transient. Eternal peace and eternal happiness are the gifts of the divine. So you should pray for these gifts. Your prayer should be like this. My Lord, I do not want anything that can be found in this world. Please grant me that which is with you alone, Shanti and Ananda, peace and bliss. I want nothing else other than these two. Pleasure and happiness obtained from objects of this world are short-lived. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasva ma, says the Gita. Let not your prayer to God be for these impermanent things. Pray to God for Shanti and Ananda. With such prayer, you can win God's love and grace. Once God's love is obtained, you can win the whole world. When you pray to God for His love, your worldly desires also get fulfilled automatically. Once a king did penance, he had no children. God manifested before him and asked him to tell his wish. The king said, Lord, I want to see my great-grandson ruling the kingdom. How many desires are contained in one desire? He should have children. His children should also beget children. The kingdom should be under his control till his great-grandson grows up and rules over it. His eyesight should be intact to watch his progress. This single desire expressed by him contains all other desires. Likewise, if you pray to God for love, all your worldly desires too will be fulfilled. Man is seated under a tree bearing 12 worries. Birth is a worry, life is a worry, family is a worry, death is a worry, childhood is a worry, old age is a worry, success is a worry, failure is a worry, action is worry, obstacles are a worry, joy itself is a worry. All uncertainties are a worry. O ye, all come and carry away this gift. All your worries will end. This tamarind tree of worries is not a fit tree for shade. If you receive God's love, all these worries will vanish. This is your only need. This should be your only desire. All other spiritual practices are of no use. Love cannot be acquired by these practices. Prayer and bhakti, devotion with intense yearning for God's love and grace will fill your heart with love. Chant the Lord's name ceaselessly to attain that love. So I will stop here. That's all I had for today. I'm sorry I took some time. I thought, we are talking about jnanam of bhakti, tasya jnana. Okay. So we should know that what is bhakti. So I thought it'll be a good opportunity for us to get to know about it. Swami has very nicely explained so that we can cultivate good devotion, proper devotion for him. Sairam, Sister Aruna.
Brother Sairam, just a quick question here that, there's so many worries Swami has listed, but I'm trying to understand where's the worry in the joy and success, please. Can you say anything like something?
Yeah, the worry about joy is worry that it may go away.
Oh, okay.
See, someone who has money is also worried. People say if he has money, he should not be worried. He'll be worried somebody will take it away, somebody will steal it. So to protecting the joy also is a worry.
Okay. The success, where the success is coming worries you. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
understand.
success also. When if for example, one who became number one in some
Oh,
race,
somebody will kill me. Okay.
somebody will kill, somebody may overtake.
Yeah.
So people have enough reasons to be worried.
Okay. Thank you.
The one who wanted to become successful will be worried somebody will exceed that person. Because success generally itself is competition.
Competition. Okay.
Okay, so it's always worry.
Great.
Okay, so everything is worry.
Thanks a lot.
People may not realize that it's a worry. They will say, I'm not worried. But actually they are worried. Okay, if you are thinking about anything for more than a second without thinking of God, it's a worry.
Is any achievement in the worldly perspective worries?
Any thought, sister, which is away from God is a worry.
Yes. Thank you.
Sairam, you'll close with Samasta Loka. ॐ समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः